Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.
It's time for some Counter-Strike, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Avant versus Order CS. I'm welcoming you to see some AU games. Whoever wins is going to go to the Asian Minor in Berlin. And if that is not a goal to aim for, I don't know what is. In the meantime, we're going to see aggression being set over on the B side. Problems start to occur as In is the last man alive. Slowly and steady. He's moving over to B, where the bomb is put on a pedestal. He's the only one to now retrieve it. High doubts that he's going to make that work, understandably. And yet again. Positioning looking quite fine. Hazard unfortunately not spotted anyone at the moment. There he sees him. Got his teammate Sniper just waiting around, but he's going to do it himself. No big deal for him. And don't be wondering, something technical we had to work with. There we go. That means we're back with the game. Ox in the hands of Sterling and his teammate Goku. He's there. Imagine finds the first. Looks quite alright at the moment. Sniper, without any problem, taken down 2, realizing that the names don't really fit to what it is on HLTV. So we have to take a look at that in just a second. Whilst Alistair at least is going to find himself from us for a second. It looked like he's throwing that away into the sniper's nest. But most obviously, no real chance to survive. 1 shot, 1 kill. And now, unfortunately, we have to take a look at it. Hazard obviously is Hazard. Sterling is obviously Sterling. Soju is obviously Soju. It's always 2 guys who have to do that. It's always 2 guys who have to do that. So, Sniper in HD is G-Raw. Okay. So, Sniper in HD, then this must be Apoc. G-Raw, Apoc, Hazard, Sterling, Soju. Okay. Confusion sometimes setting in. And there, first of all, we're going to see finally a buy round. Order down by 2, have the utility now in their hands, and could try to make this one work. Yet again, to be pointed out, this is the Avant pick. Both teams met before in exactly this qualifier in an earlier stage. Mirage back then going in favor of Avant. Order took their nuke game. There it goes. Shot coming in. Epoch finding the first kill with this AUG. Slowly and steady Order is moving towards the A site. 2 in connector, and I'm not so sure if the awareness of Avant is allowing them to read it, but there you go. Working out fine. The Arc once more reigns supreme. It's Hazard on his own to now hold them down any further, and if he delays them, that would be perfectionist already. Gotta wait it out. Peeks too wide, and this is of course costing them their life, or at least one of their soldiers. Peeking out wide is still becoming a problem now. Order only have Alistair on the server, and he's dealing major damage, but he himself fairly wounded, making this all way too complicated. He's the lone hero on the server to now make it work. No chance, though. I mean, order the number 2 team in the ECA MDL Mountain Dew League, which is somewhat of an indicator of the AU scene, though I imagine they might not take it too serious, as some teams in Europe also don't do that. So, slowly and steady, or more likely fast, I gotta turn this one around. They move towards the A sites. Hope to make that work ASAP. To some degree, they do. I mean, one frag found is alright. Here's the Deagles to his left-hand side. But Epoch, he reigns supreme, has no problems. As I say, he's getting a bullet through a bit of plywood in his head. And there, we're going to see Mirage, Nuke, and Train overall, if you just joined us in. Funny-wise, we have a very good sample size for Order when it comes down to Mirage. 76% of the rounds where they get an entry, they win. And they have picked up wins against fairly many Aussie teams, including, for example, 2 wins against Greyhound overall, Eaton Paradox, Chiefs, Atletico, a few names on the board. So far, it looks like a slaughterhouse with the label Avant on it. Oh. He just didn't realize. He thought it was one of your teammates, but no, this is not working at all. Oh, this is so disgusting. The flank by the book, and this is bringing Order down to 3 yet again. No sign of life. So then, it's Epoch. False. Suddenly, a system might start to collapse. Sterling's AWP needs to prove its precision. As a smoke, though, pops, he immediately moves out. The best move to do, staying static, would be suicides. Oh, and Hazard, he's not even getting anything done with that. Zeph is looking for one frag after another. And the patience, it pays off to some degree. Inns is the last man left. And that single and lone CT, he can't make it. There's the sign of life for Order. After a brilliant flank and a 3 versus 5 situation, they still retrieve it. That is absolutely unfortunate for Avant. As you've seen, and we can take a look at it right now. If you don't bring... I mean, it's still alright, right? But they also didn't bring too many through, and so they choose to go for the eco in this. So the follow-up is going to be interesting. I mean, this one is hardly important. So Hazard at least finds one. Nice to have, you could put it that way. And that's very nice to see. Avant doesn't even want to take any unnecessary risk, so instead of just moving over and slaughtering everyone on the B side, they take the safety approach. That's done with ease. Imagine taking Hazard down and Sterling doing himself a major favor by saving that AK-47. The perfect timing to take a quick look at the stats. Of course, we don't see anything specific and anything amazing yet. So, Hazard's ADR, quite amazing. And at 4 versus 2, 4-2-2, pardon me. It's finally a display of all the weapons coming in. Also, after Order started to wake up, Avant will hardly have any money afterwards. So Ince gonna take down Soju first. The flashbang from his teammate Hats was just done by perfection. But with such positioning, you don't do anything. You simply don't do anything. And Alistair, in combination with Imagine, they reign supreme on 2. That works fine. Avants start to fall, not yet in this spiral of economic drought, but it's uncomfortable. If Order, by the way, would win this map, the probability of them winning this entire series 2-0 is quite high then. And as it is 4-2-3, just looking forward if those Deagles are going to bring us anything. I got my doubts. Now start pushing over onto the A ramp. Yes, that could be APOC now doing something. Unfortunately, doesn't do so. Would have been too nice to watch. A P250 trying to make this work. USPS could be called unrealistic, and that in the end it is. Only one to really do something would be Gyro with this Deagle, but he himself on 17 HP has a bit of a problem. He most definitely won't make this one work at all. And if you're wondering what this is all about, this is about a slot for the Asian miner. So you need to put 110% of your power down. Greyhound has beaten Avant yesterday to get the first slot, the first seed for the tournament in Asia. For the tournament in Germany. That's about a lot, because that miner's going a little further. This miner can secure the slot like Greyhound did for the actual major. Here it comes. Imagine down, and Avant are interested in taking back the lead. Sterling most likely is, and those 2 kills transferring over from Connector was brilliant movement. And I mean brilliant read. That then secured him just such a frack, as it was done that good. Order is about to pop onto that A side entirely. Could just become a bit problematic. Hazard to his right hand side though. Got a teammate watching out for him, and so has an Alistair. I mean, he could take the white way around and try to go back to B, but if that's working, it's a different story. Alistair proves his op skill once more, but it should not be him making this work. Talking about it, Verfrat found. He wanted the 4th with a no-scope, but he got denied in the end. And considering what the statistics tell us, which favor Avant so massively on this map, I mean especially in the AU scene, which then really applies to this obviously. Avant wins over 70% of their matches on this map. You could call that quite decently. And now Order. The aggression train, it starts over on the B side. Imagine perfectly swings wide. And nobody of Avant even knew what was happening there. As one after another falls, Order's coordination seems perfection. A 3rd one coming in. And this is absolutely brilliant. As even the last CT might get hunted down, and that seems to be the case. Moku is known, the wall bang. He dances around the wall, let's say it like that. But imagine he had enough of it. A quad secured by just one man, and that was so brilliantly done. Chris Rowlands. And for his age, 28 years old, he's still performing in the AU scene quite decently. A 1.11 rating in the last 3 months. Yet again, we're back to the pistols. As we're back to the pistols, that would be Order taking the lead. Which honestly would a little bit be surprising. I have to be very honest with you here. And there we go. Lead is there, and now to quickly review what is actually happening here on the server. Unfortunately, the HLTV scoreboard doesn't work. I would really like to tell you advanced stats about openings and such. In the meantime, this is all I got for you. The flashbang usage on the CT side, which is no real surprise, not that high. For executions, you obviously need some very decent flashes. Which then also, it's a very classic thing. If you're not so familiar with Counter-Strike, seeing a higher utility damage on the CT side while seeing a higher enemy's flash on the T side is extremely normal. Just to put that out here. And in the meantime, talking about putting something out there, or CS wants to put them out on the A site. Major pain coming to the head of one of the CTs. Ouch. That was painful. Sad slowly and steady plays around the smoke. Another one pops and he can just advance further and further and further. Knows about connector. Yeah, it's gonna fall down. And Anister should not stand a chance. In no universe, this man is gonna prevail. And is up. I mean, he tries. He really tries. It's the 40 more seconds. It's just not realistic at all. Now, as it is not so realistic, is it realistic for actually Avant to take victory over here on Mirage? Sounds a bit of like a harsh statement. It is their pick where they are usually so dominant. In the meantime, directly pushing out main, it's going to be denied by Hazard, who finds one after another. They basically ran into the Australian meat grinder, and tonight it's Kangaroo Ragu has been surfed as the 7th must be on the board. Quickly mentioning that, CT&T side for a team like Order, it's a bit more CT side for them, but not by much. So we're talking about 52% of the rounds of Avant being won on the CT side, which is no clear indicator. It's not like a message sends, we're the CT side team. And as I saw one question being, how CT side is Mirage? 53.5% of the rounds on this map are won on the CT side in the last 3 months. I hope that answers the question properly. In the meantime, Ince wants to die before time, very obviously. And that works brilliantly. He also dropped the ult back in Palace, so nobody's going to grab that. And that worked. And here's a terrorist timeout. Order want to get into the second half with a beneficial scoreline. 8-7 is the only opportunity right now. They got shut down a few times by now. And that is, of course, nothing you necessarily want to see. As the pause has now faded. Those terrorists, what are they going to deliver for us? What is their approach to round number 14? It matters, because if you can come out with a little bit of an advantage, let's say 8-7, actually it's going to be, and you win the pistol, you are on a quite decent track to take victory. And yet again, I want to remind you, both teams have played each other in this qualifier already, and in this qualifier, it was actually Avant who has beaten the team 16-10 on exactly this Mirage. So the silence before the storm. Silence before it all starts to hit what seems to be the B-side. The weather forecasts, it might call some sinister times, as the dark clouds are coming over, and it's pretty much only Soju to hold them up. That off can find the first, goes for more, but he cannot hold the line really, and this is now giving them major access to the site to plant that bomb. The molly spreads, and no further possibilities for the CTs, at least at the moment, but their first smoke fades. The flashbang seems brilliant, comes in a little late, and as Hats falls, that means Imagine and Alistair need to glue it together, and they seemingly do so. Knows about the short player, puts him down to 3, finds him then mid-air through the box. And that is Sterling to now turn it around with the AWP. It needs to be one magic performance. It needs to be one magnificent play, but it does not seem so realistic, as he's escaping already, and the escape route full of bullets coming his way. Nevertheless, number 7 is there, and this was such a needed number 7 from Order. So Imagine Co, they seem to be on the right track to get the number 8. After, I don't want to say stellar, but definitely solid performance over on B. It's now really coming down to do the proper execution. I mean, both teams have the same equipment in that sense. But Avant, they keep the A side fairly open. That was his teammate attacking him. All right then, a little stab in the stomach. Sterling with the AWP, shutting them down, both of them. And that's gonna be it. Avant take the lead. And prevailing on the CT side like this is not a lot if you think about it. Would have thought about a little more from the Avant side. The last time they have met, just to point that out, it was actually Order having an 8-7 half on their CT side, whilst Avant got 9 rounds as a CT. It was shocking. And as shocking as it is, Zeph staying back towards CT ramp. Seems like they'd rather do a retake sort of setup as they realize what's happening. Hazard! Oh, he's gonna be taken down, and Imagine with what? A few shots for the smoke. He didn't see a thing. The man was basically blindfolded, and still he's able to find those frags. That is only Soju to be left alive. And the man doesn't stand a chance. Final Glock. In Order, we do not have an advantage on this map. We've not decided to play this. Looks good for them. Well, with that bomb down, of course, you go for the usual sort of force. 2 deagles, 1 ZZ. On the B-side rush. What seems more tantalizing than a B-side push? The molly is gonna be extinguished. Has is praying to the Lord that it's not an entire cavalry arriving at him, and the entire squadron does arrive at him, making it all a bit more problematic. A few players wounded throughout the process doesn't change the matter of fact that the man advantage is there. And that man advantage can it be put to use? Ends is known, finds another. That last eagle shouldn't make a difference. It doesn't. Looked a little dangerous for a second or two. And ironically, Order, the number 69 in this world, in the lead. This one is a simple shutdown round. Upgraded Deegs are there, which is nice to have. And I mean, Order, they have not once done a roster change in 2019. Big consistency coming in, especially when we talk about Imagine and Hats, who have joined 8th of January. Which is absolutely amazing, if you think about it. I mean, in Counter-Strike, it's fairly rare that you stay that long together. I mean, one of the players you might know is Lias, who now plays under the Renegades tag. Of course, what's also very interesting, who also sticks to the squad for a while now, is Alma Putty. Either way, let's see how this one will go. Avant taking their first frag with Alistair's Dark Tags collected. But this somewhat being a bonus round for Order is no big deal. Jumping loud like this, of course, finding easy frags, and Imagine yet again the savior of the A side. He hears all the stabs coming close. He at least thinks Soju, but no chance to prevail. Still a chance to turn this one around when you take a look at it. 10, 9, and 50 points of health. That's an invitation for a retake. They're basically going to initiate that. They would have a molly also to bait out any sort of positions. The smoke's there as well. Now they're going for it. Kid is on both players, and Hat's got to defend his teammate by the book. Sees the first coming out. Oh, Sterling! He was only on 9 HP, but Inns is getting the defuse nevertheless. That looked way too scary. That looked way too tight. There's a T timeout. Evan said, we want to play this. Fine, whatever. The fun part is, Evan also said, we want to play Nuke. Alright then. You want to play Nuke? Well, the problem about playing Nuke is, or more likely that they left it in the pool, which is somewhat understandable, is that their opponent is so freaking strong on it. The only upside I see for the squad of Sterling right now is that if they lose Mirage, they can still rely on their upside yesterday, where they were beating actually Greyhound 16-10. If that though works against a team like Order, which seems to have a lot of official practice against a team of official experience against many Australian teams, could become difficult. Nevertheless, we're gonna see. There, Alistair seems somewhat ready to get away with his teammates after to deny them any further. AK falls down, but the punishment is immediately there. And that punishment is painful, as the castle of the A side seems to be conquered. A couple already of the walls falling down. But they still go for the retake. They have all the money, or they have some reserve money, to put it that way, on some of the few players that could make it work. You see on the minimap, Zaf forced back and Ints taken out. This is now denied. And Imagine could consider to save. Seems extremely reasonable. And that is exactly what he does. So Avant, there they go. Finally here. And this order does the right way by trying not to waste too much money into something that wouldn't really work anyway. Some submachine guns or something like that. They do themselves a favor here. That, of course, gives you a clear picture. Player of B pushed through. An instant P-side attack. As the control's already there, this is now starting to become a shooting gallery or a bit of an aim practice. No real problem for them. No, it's, as I said, just a shooting gallery. Trying to find one after another. That works fine. And there's one more to come. It's gonna be Ints. At least one kill they have found. Nice to have, to put it that way. One Ints, patiently waits. Can't find one. Unfortunate for him. Oh no, it was actually passively the damage he inflicted, and then the bomb blowing up. Nice to have. Nice to have. Like I said, Order has not decided to play Mirage. There it's a bit for surprising. They're now in the lead. This round though needs to be once more in their hands, because if it's not, it might be that Avant taking the right aggression. It's nice to see that Saf is considering to push mid. You see the head just left inside. He must have had. Thought so at least. And now the A side is going to be attacked. Players already coming back from connector. So important. And as they drop down, danger close, you could say. And that nade is painful to watch. Hazard and Co. They most definitely need number 11, and they're most likely on the right track, because now Order also considers, do we really want to push through or do we go for a save? They don't have a kit besides that. Sterling's op reacts wisely, and two players towards CT just waits in and out. The shadow spotted, and nothing really done. There is the tied up situation. Order are looking solid, but suddenly going downhill again. Hazard. Co-off, of course, shut this one down with ease. No real problem that occurs. No real problem to take the A site. A bump down is once more giving them big bucks in their bank account, especially if they don't lose a player, which seems at this point very realistic. On the other side, what do Int and his crew have to lose? Nothing. So they come sneaking through connector, step by step. They try to exit small path, and now at that point, I'm so surprised why they're not trying for it. It's the only logical explanation is here the exit frags, but nothing coming their way. So is he trying to fake it out? This could have been interesting only with the P250 to try to fake them out and get them close to the bomb site for the explosion, but either way, a bit surprised by that. Seems like they were not so decisive. Either they really want to go pull through or not. So, that is the 12-11. Avant in the lead on their own map pick, and it's about time. Yet again, Order. They have the glass cannon in their hands. Some CTs with a bit of utility, not too much. Look at the patience. Look at the patience from Seth. Sees the first flashbang. Does that help, though, to some degree? Because his teammate is there to flank around. Hat's coming over short. One burning away. And this is so brilliant. This is teamwork at its finest. And this is nothing else to the system of Avant collapsing. Or more likely, it should be a system of Avant collapsing. In the meanwhile... yeah, Imagine got it under control. For a second, I was worried he's going to fall down as well, and then everything would have very possibly been falling down. But Imagine stays alive. Might hear the op, I'm not so sure about. Walks the parallel path. Doesn't want to let him exit. No, he doesn't want to let him exit. Let's take a look what actually the odds tell us right now. Order fairly favorite. Okay. Interesting. And that's what the GG bet odds are telling us at the moment. An Order with that 12-12. Order of a very good opportunity, very honestly. Yet again, if they find this map, they end up on a battlefield, which they enjoy so much. And as I say that, Auto Director doesn't want to show us, but it's no lie. Double kill coming in from Alistair. More and more control in favor of Order. It seems like Mirage belongs to them, at least in this round. There's no stopping. No stopping at all. Sterling now known. slapping the AWP out of his hands seems like a good idea. When we also talk about losing bonus real quick, we'll realize that this is going to be the second losing bonus, $1,900. So both Hazard, Soju, and as I always mess up the names, those face-it names, APOC, pardon me. Or was it Gyra? No, it was Gyra, pardon. Could be messing both of them up, doesn't even matter. All those free players hardly have anything left in their bank accounts when you think about plus 1,900. Hazard will just basically be on 2.1. Also Sniper and Soju, very realistically speaking, can't go much further. In the meantime, Zeph is struggling massively. One pistol shot does it then in the end. And there you see, this is not satisfying. It could be a drop from Sterling to Hazard, and then they buy through. But it seems like they're going to talk about that. Because the last thing you really want is Order getting closer and closer and closer to a victory on this. As the damage in middle has been dealt, players are actually going down. I don't necessarily like the approach of Avant, though I understand why they're doing that. Those 4 AKs, they need to reign supreme from start on. Otherwise, I got a really bad feeling right now. As an old saying goes, beware of the Greeks bringing gifts, but maybe today it's the Aussies that bring the gifts. And it couldn't end quite badly for Order, as they still trying to crack one of those bomb sites open. The bomb not necessarily far away, but a good bit away from one of the individuals. Sterling seems to pick it up anytime soon. Inns is there in time to immediately revenge his teammate. And now Avant is putting up some resistance. Nevertheless, it's hardly too much time left. Aggression is coming in. And the B focus is set. And it could be the reads coming in immediately. Alistair is not so sure about it yet. And the jump peek of Haas. Did it give him the idea? Did he see anyone? Can't be the case. Can't be the case. 29 seconds. I can't say I'm happy about Hats. Because if he fails, this system could collapse entirely. Nobody's actively back on the side. Hats, you are putting yourself on a pedestal. And there he realizes it, taken out midair. And Inns, he gotta deny any further access. If he just finds the bomb planter, that would be already more than enough. He hears Smoker from his side. He waits patiently, finds the first. The bomb plant denied! So good from Inns. And this is Avant not winning the round because of one patient man looking at his clock and peeking when needed. That was not strong, but that was smart. And that is all you need for such success. Unbelievable. This is map number 1. Not number 2, not number 3. But they fight for what it's worth, and it's worth a slot for the Asian miner. Absolutely disgustingly good played, and that was splendid. Order now need to do it 2 more rounds, and we see Avant still upgrade as much as they can. But never underestimate when your opponent is already bruised. You need to play it by the book without too many flaws. Talking about it, first man burning away. That seems to be the control in their hands. Not quite sure how much further it will go. Player to his right hand, Hazard, now spotted. And that is going to be the round. Overtime seems to be secured 100%. Overtime seems to be so badly secured. And his hat's most likely is going to have a very good chance. He's losing his head. And the thing is, at that point, I'm very much looking forward to see if he's going to get that bomb down successfully, because the players are coming closer. He sees one short, but Alistair reacts just right. CT's, they're one round away from it. There's a final terrorist timeout. Final one. Oh, and you would expect now Avant to show us what they're made of. 3 rounds in a row they would need. And we know when it's those high pressure rounds, when it's those match points, things start to look a little weird. And by weird, I don't mean a bad weird. By that I mean your opponent is becoming somewhat unpredictable because they have nothing to lose. Now or never situation, talking about it. Frag comes in, and Order's losing one player after another. This is exactly what I meant. Exactly, to be accurate. The bomb being the night is so important. The thing here was, they were just pushing out A main, or ramp, whatever you want to call it, just due to the reason of saying whatever, what do we gotta lose? It works by overrunning everyone coming close. Imagine. React still right, and so only 2 remain. The problem is, he has no idea about the window player. This might get him killed. But he plays such an unusual angle. In the meantime, In's got to be ready for a player to come from behind the timing. It works. He leaves a gap for himself. But he doesn't know. Under no circumstance he knows. Tiny gap, still not working for any of those players. 40 seconds. There he shoots out of nowhere. Trying to get a bit of attention maybe. The Mola on CT is there. And Ince, he's going to take him down together with his teammate Imagine. So unfortunate from Avant, but Order take their opponent's map pick, and that was Mirage decided by Avant. We're going into a little break. Don't go anywhere, as we're going to see Nuke in just a second. See you guys in a moment.
Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams. Take what's rightfully yours with